Have you with us tonight, and hope you'll come back often. Often. Are you ready? She ready? Gentlemen, she ready?
We have seen illusion and reality begin to overlap and fuse. A line between them begins to disappear.
That was interesting.
Each of you must distinguish for himself between the scenes of cold reality and those of pure illusion.
Floating higher and higher. A wonderful feeling. Floating higher and higher. A wonderful feeling. Wonderful feeling. Wonderful feeling. Wonderful feeling. Wonderful.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
She ready?
That was interesting. That was interesting.
Gentlemen, she ready?
That was interesting. That was interesting. Shut up and sit down.
Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system. Tingling with excitement. Trembling with horror. And throbbing with emotion.
You're with your trip. You'll make it. In society.
I'm going to bring it down. As I bring it down, I'm going to say, welcome to the Fool's Journey.
You picked this one out tonight, Stan, and
I love it.
Watching this again, it's been a while since I've watched this, and it is just like, it is my whole magical journey.
It's so amazing. It really is. And I love the fact that, like, we have our own, completely own original artwork, original music, original everything, original personalities. It's like, here we are, the Fool's Journey. It is Monday. Once again, it is September 18th. We were just talking about.
I can't believe It's
This
September 18th.
this year is flying by. What you're looking at, if you're just joining us and you're new to the Fool's Journey, is Brian over here to the what is it, the left side of the screen? Yeah, it's the left side of the screen. Uh, it's his artwork. He's a light painting photographer slash wizard. And, that's what this show is based on. Brian produced an amazing deck, an amazing tarot deck. The Wizard of Odd is his website. You can get there on the right side of the screen is a QR code, and on the left side you can see some prints.
And there are a few yummy gold encrusted 10th anniversary decks left
Yes,
too.
let's put you nice and big with that. How do I do that? Oh, there we go. Show that. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it's got gold like everywhere.
Beautiful,
I love
beautiful
taking
artwork.
this deck out because it feels like I've gotten a gold brick.
Yeah, it's definitely it's got like a nice weight to it, and it's
The cards
feels solid. Yeah.
You know, this deck was the way I always like. This is the deck I've read with for so many years. It's falling apart, and it was just like there was no box, no nothing. It was just a raw deck and a shrink wrap. And this
Right.
was the way I'd always like wanted to see it happen. I'm really happy that happened during my lifetime.
Me too. I'm totally happy that happened. I think it's awesome, and I love that. Not only have you had the deck and it became the 10th anniversary deck, but it also spawned a live broadcast where we've been going through the cards one by one. It's got a life of its own, so to speak.
I'm in kind of a strange space this week. A really good space, but like, wow, I just about a week ago on Sunday, I hmm, yeah, I had something happen that wound up changing me profoundly.
Well, yeah. Tell
Like,
us.
like at the beginning, it was one way. At the end, it was another. And since then, my aura, the color of my aura, has changed like significantly to a
Wow.
color. You know, I've been kind of going through some craziness last few months.
Mhm.
You know, the Fool's Journey for me was not a show or just a concept. It wound up immersing me in whatever the lesson and the rules and the experiences of the card were that week. And
Right.
we went through a bunch of them that were pretty tough. And I wound up with this situation that ultimately I know I brought myself, but was also a deeply karmic kind of scenario. So there were so many layers to it. And I wound up being in the situation where um, I needed to change my colors like consciously in order to change. I ran into a situation where I met a vibe that I was repelled by. Like if you could imagine two speakers on either side of your head and you took the most dissonant notes that you could do and turn the speakers up as loud
Mm.
as they could get.
Wow.
That's what it felt like to be around this vibration.
Okay.
And no one else felt it. Everybody else is like, oh, I don't understand. I don't get it. Yeah, okay. So it became really apparent that it was my own crazy, weird journey. So, um, you know, you're going through all of the options to like, okay, what do I do? Do I go? Do that? Do this? Do that? And you go through all of those, and you're just kind of left with this. Okay, I know what to do, but I don't really want to do it kind of scenario. So you start looking for crazy solutions. And what I realized is that vibration has my aura, my main color in my emotional band is mainly blue, kind of like an electric flame, like a flame, a gas flame blue, kind
Mhm,
of
mhm.
azure.
Okay.
And it turns out that that resonance of that color, that frequency and that resonance of that color was diametrically opposed to this other resonance. And it like, oh, I mean, it had a really physical, visceral effect.
Wow.
Um, Removing that was not going to be an option. Could not happen. So I started like, wow, I had to brainstorm to, I had learned to do that change my color over the course of my training, but I'd never really had to use it in like a real world situation. And it'd been some
Okay.
time since I did that.
Mhm.
So I dove in and wound up like switching my colors, and that wound up being a really great solution. However,
Mhm.
that was a solution that changed parts of me that like when you move your set points, when you change your colors, those are
Mhm.
like the
Mhm.
software that's running you.
Mhm.
So if
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
change those, you change how you act. Like I found myself with like changing foods I liked, all of a sudden putting something in a place that's different than the place I put it
Mhm.
habitually for years,
Wow.
changing pockets, crossing my leg over my other leg in a completely opposite way, just like that.
Wow.
It was pretty profound and
Wow. Yeah.
interesting, and that set off a whole course of, the scientist in me, scientific investigation and seeing where that could go and trying different colors, and it wound up really working well. However, the color that I changed it to wound up amplifying my projective abilities and decreasing my intuitive thing. So that
Oh,
really
wow.
uh, a sustainable thing, not to mention that it took a lot of energy to move those set points. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
like some of those, I say set points, what those are just little like points of light scattered around in the second and third band of your aura that are the software that tell you what to do. Some of those you're
Right.
born with, some of those are habitual things that you learned, and a lot of those are the choices that you've made and chose to make.
Mm.
This is how I live stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
Those
Mhm.
become
Mhm.
cemented in there, and like
Wow.
that kind of like tells you how you function.
Right. Right. Right.
So grabbing those and moving those even just a little bit changes your whole perspective. That's
Right.
the other thing. From the
But that's
perspective,
it. That's important. That's
hang on,
important.
hang on, hang on. From the perspective I was in at that time in that blue coloration, the only thing I could consider was removing myself from that vibration.
Right.
There
Right.
really wasn't another solution available to me.
Right.
When I changed color, I didn't care. I didn't care.
I love.
I
That
was
totally
not
makes sense.
robbed.
Yeah.
I was not wobbed. I was not like, oh, I wasn't like,
You didn't even have to deal with the situation anymore.
yeah.
Mm.
And that wound up being really cool. But it turned out that there wasn't really like I couldn't sustain that all the time.
I
Like
got
that
you.
took a ton of energy, man.
I
That
got
was
you.
really,
Wow.
and you get better with it after time. I held those colors for
Mhm.
21 days, so now I can get to them like that
Right.
instead of it taking a day, to
Right.
actually do
Right.
those.
Right. Right.
So the learning out of all of that has just been immense.
Now, let me ask you a question, Brian, because especially for people who've been following along with the Fool's Journey, you were talking about that. I remember probably a year ago, 8 months ago, you were telling us that you were doing work in different bands of your auric
That's correct.
layers or energetic fields. So that's what you're talking about. That's where you were. That's what you were doing. You were moving those
I
set
was
points.
moving the set points a little bit, just moving, tweaking those just a little. I didn't want to change who I was.
Right. Right. Of
Just
course.
wanted to change my perspective and
Right.
the way I saw stuff.
I love it.
Because perspective is everything. You could
Sure.
show exactly the same situation to 1,000 people, and they will interpret it differently
Right.
because where
Right.
they're looking at it from.
Right. 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 Right.
Okay, so that turned out I was kind of depressed because it's like, oh my God, there's just no solution here, no solution whatsoever. And um, yeah, so I have my friend Leah and we she's one of like just three people in my whole life that I've met that when I get around her without talking or saying anything, just being in the same space, our resonance,
Mhm.
you know, when you resonate just on the same frequency and coolness, it's a good feeling. But when you find a resonance that amplifies itself because it's there
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it feeds off itself and it grows and it gets bigger and it makes this third thing. That's a
Mhm.
combo of both those individuals in a
Mhm.
third
Mhm.
thing that's now because it's all of those things together. It's not separate pieces. It's now a thing outside of both of you that is bigger than you.
Yeah, I love
So
it.
So, I really we had a lot of discussions about the scenario and how to fix it, and like, she and I do a lot of magic together, and so we jumped on it and just okay, here, let's try this. So we got together, we like lit those resonances up, it amplified, made a third thing, and I was able to grab onto that and clean all of that goo out.
Wow.
Which wasn't I was just expecting it to be the goo of that situation, but
Mhm,
what it
mhm,
wound up
mhm.
doing is stripping me altogether of all of
Mm,
this karmic goo, all this other stuff that I, like,
mm.
never even really knew was there at the time, and
Wow,
and it flushed me out and changed me like that. My
that's awesome.
perspective changed, my ability to, like, deal with that situation was like, "What was the big deal?" You know, and, like, because my perspective changed so significantly, like, everything I'm looking at with different eyes. It's quite incredible. And
Amazing.
my frequency went up, like, wow, it went up. And the color of my aura, the natural color that it normally was before I messed with it, um, became a whole different color. One I've only seen on a few people actually, and I was like, "Wow, this is just a really great moment. This is just, I'm just going to savor every second of this because when it goes back the other way, I want to remember how this feels, and maybe be able to get back there, but it hasn't changed.
Right,
It's
right.
only amplified, and what started as like this iridescent kind of color is now like, wow, I love going outside myself and looking back at my aura myself.
That's awesome. You're extra sparkly, Joey
Yeah,
said.
and it just wound up really just putting me in this state of absolute gratitude. Like I've wanted silence all week. Like I haven't listened to any music. Like TV's been off. I've just been there in silence. And you know, we're coming up to the end of the Fool's Journey.
Mhm.
The next week, the King of Cups will be the last of the weekly card scenario.
Right.
Right? And to be honest with you, that road has been so amazingly brutal. I'm really pretty glad that that's going to be the way it is.
Right.
And then after, well, as long as we're talking about that, what I plan to do is do a 2 hour show after the King of Cups, and we'll go over the swords and we'll go over the pentacles in that show, and then we'll just have a wrap up at the end. I'm going to cover the wall in paper, and I'm going to draw out the full
Nice.
beginning to end.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent.
And then I think I want to dive headlong into the angels, dude.
Yeah,
Like the angels have been around all week. Like I such a difference from the
you were
tarot.
saying that, yeah.
Like I mean it's just like night and day, and like just amazing things have been happening, and like okay, thunderstorm coming in right before the show. I'm sitting out on the porch just digging that. And as I was thinking about things, the lightning would go and just flash, like kind of in the rhythm of an answer.
Right, right. Like your thought of something, then it's like, "Boo, boo, boo, yes."
And
Yeah,
and it
I love
happened
that.
6, 7 times in a row, and then, like,
Mm,
I've been getting these overwhelming, like, waves of gratitude and this, like, immense love and just sending it out to God and, like,
mm,
just, "Thank you. Thank you.
mhm,
Thank you.
mhm.
Thank you." Just love in every
Yeah.
direction. Thank you. And right as I did that, the thunder went, boom, 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 like, "You're welcome."
That's great.
And it just I know it's silly. I'm just like making
No, it's not.
up
It's
things,
wonderful. I
but it makes
feel it. It's
me feel
great.
so connected to that frequency, and I'm just digging it, man.
It's
When
great.
I did that,
I
when
love
I
it.
did the tarot deck, it was a little brutal too. I didn't
Yeah.
really realize it at the time because I hadn't put that whole initiation thing together like
Right.
it is now for me. But that was pretty brutal. But when I did the angels were it was energetically intense, but like, oh, the space you're living in. Like, how many things do you run into that you can trust and they'll tell you the truth?
Right, right,
Not
right, right.
that many. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. that was wonderful. All good stuff. All good. A good story and good energy and good
Well,
chat.
you asked. I know it all just sounds
I
crazy,
love
but
it. No, no, I love it. I think
that's
it's
the fool's journey, bro.
yeah, man. That's
What a
awesome.
journey it's been, man.
That's awesome. I'm looking for this graphic that I had made. I don't see it. Oh man, I had a cool mind
Billy, what's
blown.
up, babe?
I had a mind blown graphic. But
Julie's
yeah.
experimenting with some really cool stuff, man. I'm not gonna
Oh
put
yeah,
out here.
Julie is
Doing some great stuff, and I shot her some ideas, and she's like on top of that, and like really just blowing through it. And dude, the universe brought me a little like group to work with, man. This guy
Oh
that
yeah.
lives that moved across the courtyard from me, like he's dove in head.
Yeah, you said he was a young guy, right? A young
He's 30, yeah, he's 30 something, early
yeah, that's
30s,
amazing.
and like he's already got all the cards memorized. He's busting out his like 3 card reading every day. We're doing like
That's awesome.
practice, and it's just like it is so cool to see somebody light up with the same like puppy
I'm
dog
I'm
surprise.
glad I'm
I
glad you
gotta
have
have
that,
it.
yeah.
It makes me remember that time for myself, and
I
it's
love
just
that, yeah, that's
it's
great.
glorious. It really.
You know what? Speaking about good things and energy, um, the show has been doing really well. I think people are responding really well to the show. Of course, Jilly's always out there responding well to the show. But we actually got I guess a comment on one of our videos that's a question. So I want to just bring it up and read it. It's from Debbie. And thank you, Debbie, for watching the show. It says, "Blessed be, I am curious about the planetary squares. Maybe I missed it, but the planetary squares I grew with are different except the sun. Was this a channeling? How did you arrive at the numbers? And with them all using the same size square? Thank you in advance. Also, thank you so much for the Fool's Journey. I am loving it."
Well, yes, absolutely. That's very astute of you, Debbie. It was calculated. It's not. It wasn't a channel thing. It was calculated using a reduced. Um, wow, reducing to a simpler level the base numbers and the big squares. Like all of them get larger. Even the sun, that's a 6 by 6 square. But those are like condensations of that. And if you want to email me, it's too complicated to try to get into here. But I'd be happy to give you a detailed description of how I got there if you want to
Yeah,
email me directly.
that's the whole idea of making the sigils, right? With taking um
The squares are like the map for where you draw the lines.
right,
And the
right.
squares and each of I'm teaching somebody about this right now. And each of the squares have a specific energy. Like the sun you would use for like success in every direction. Mars you would use for speed and intensity. Mercury you would use for communication and clarity of getting your point across. So depending on what you're needing and what you're building the sigil about, you use different squares. When you get a little more advanced, you start stacking those on top of each other, and that's the beginning of a whole nother line. Hey, Debbie,
Right. I think she's out there. Debbie's out there. What's up, Debbie? Good to see you out there.
I
And she
love your
says,
icon.
uh, um, yeah. So what I was saying was about the sigil, like the sigils. Like I remember you talking about how you boil it down because you're really breaking down the whatever the words are into this number form, and then you're breaking down the numbers into only just a few left.
Well, you
And then,
take an intent, you write out a sentence
right,
for that. You
right,
cross out all the letters that duplicate, which usually gets you down if you've kept your sentence to a single sentence, which it needs to be. When you get your sentence down, you've probably got 5 or 6, 7 letters. And those all have a numerological correspondence, like with
right.
numerology. And then those are the things that you use to draw the pattern on top of the square. So, like if you're doing Mercury, Mars, and the sun, you would draw each of those separately and then combine them over the top of one another. It's pretty cool. Very
Interesting.
effective
Yeah,
system.
yeah. We did. There is an episode, Debbie, where we went over the sigils. I wish I had them indexed better, but maybe I could. Maybe we can do that. I can write down, go through them and figure that out. But again, thank you for being here, Debbie. We really appreciate your comments and your chat.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good stuff.
I'm happy
We
you're going to use them. That's awesome.
all right. So, are we going to get into this week's Queen of
Let me
Cups?
answer. Let me answer Jilly.
Oh,
Um,
Jilly.
well, Jilly, think about it. Like if you have a dot, is that a sigil? No, not really. You're creating a path of energy with a sigil. So I usually like I've done two before, but I've never really been satisfied with that. So, if it's not three, four, or five, then recraft your sentence. And don't be afraid to recraft your sentence 5 or 6 times and
Mm.
like add it up, like see what the numbers are. Like if you know your own personal numbers really well and you add up the total of the letters that are left and that relates is in sync with some of your numbers, that's a pretty good mode to go. And depending on what that number is, it's also going to tell you about the probability of the um, potential energy actually working and manifesting in the way that you want it to.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I love we're becoming interactive. People are actually paying attention and
Well, that's
asking
when it gets
questions.
to be the most fun,
I
man.
love that. Yeah. That's great. I love it. Awesome. Do you want me to I am prepared to actually read the Queen of Cups, or we can bring up the cards and look at them and discuss them, or
Well,
you're in charge, Mr. Wizard.
yeah, no, let's go ahead and bring up we'll talk about all the queens this week.
Okay.
Let's
So you
go ahead
want
and
it?
bring up the Queen of Cups and
All
do your
right.
thing on the little excerpts for them.
Okay. So okay, hold on a second. I'll open this window separately so I can read it here separately while you guys look at the card. Here we go. Oh yeah. And I'll zoom in nice and big
This
there.
one, yeah, this is just alive.
Yeah. I'm always amazed when we're doing the cards how much the images really correspond to the vibration of what the concept is, like the queen and the princesses and all of that stuff we've been looking at recently. So the Queen of Cups says, a daydreamer with well-developed active imagination, the Queen of Cups is a creative problem solver. She is empathetic and truly caring and supports those around her with an open heart and mind. She is a mature woman, kind, creative, and supportive. People pour their hearts out to her because of her superlative listening skills. She always makes them feel as if they have truly been heard and understood. A rare ability indeed. Oh, I love this.
That's
Another
what I
side.
love. That's what I love the most about this card. It's like when you look at
Yeah.
the princess. The princess is the carefree, happy-go-lucky. Everything's great in the world. Like just looking at the world for the first time with really innocent eyes.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
there's an exuberance and a joy about that that's really infectious and really super fun to be around. And she cares a lot, but she cares a lot about everything.
mhm,
And the queen is now that matured person,
mhm,
and
mhm,
she now, like, instead of just being excited and wanting everybody to have a good time, it is the empathy part of it, to be able to actually look inside and see someone's pain, and
mhm,
then have the creativity of the king and queen of cups. There's like super rich creative ability in those.
mhm,
So
mhm,
she can look inside and see that pain and understand that and empathize with that and devise a creative way to heal that. She's a really amazing healer for exactly that. Sometimes it's just listening to you, like for real. Like somebody not sitting there thinking about other things while you're pouring your heart and soul out on the ground, but that they're
mhm.
really connecting to you and hearing you, whether they're
Yeah,
agreeing with
no,
you
I
or
love
not.
that.
It's not even about they have to agree with you or like, they could disagree, but just hear me, that's a really
Yeah, I really relate to that. I feel like that's a part of why I do these shows, and that's kind of the presence that I offer, when I have an interview with somebody and I'm talking to them. It's like I'm really listening to what they're saying, you know what I mean? And I'm caring about it. And I feel like I love that. I definitely relate to that. Um it says another side to her is shy and reserved, yet she is always affectionate and quick to connect with those that need her. Yeah, I love this description. She is the consummate artist and creator, always bringing forth fantastic and soul churning images and music from her vast, multi dimensional imagination.
Yeah.
You can't help but love her, and you love loving her. Some someone very special is about to show up in your life. Woohoo! Hold on. I love the way Brian you come through in these cards, and all of a sudden it actually says woohoo on the card. I love that.
By the way, a little known fun fact: Woo is the acronym for Wizard of Oz.
Ooh, woo! I love that.
Which is why I do that all the time. I put
I
woo
love that.
everything.
I love that. Jilly is commenting on the pretty blue hair and the superlative nature of this card. But Debbie said she's looking to get your sale. You got a sale coming up on your cards, or are you gonna give a fool's journey
Well,
viewer
there's
discount?
yeah, actually, again, if you want to email me at my name at gmail.com, I'll be happy to shoot you a little
The viewer discount.
not a little, actually a really big discount off
There
of
you go. Look at
yeah.
that, Debbie. Just for watching the show, you get a major
And
viewer
we can talk
discount.
about the squares for a second if you want.
And a personal consultation. How awesome is that? Amazing. I love that. I love that. I really do. That's what we have to offer on this show. So yeah, this is amazing. I'm just looking at the image, and I love, like, I can definitely see a nice robe, a big robe here, but I love even the three-dimensionality of the robe, how it just kind of comes and it curls under over here. It's just like,
Well,
really,
and I love it especially because, I mean, you see the silhouette of the bustle sort of like dress, queen's dress, right?
yeah.
But there's just this energy radiating. And look, if you look at the solar plexus, there's a circular whirl going around, like connected right at her waist at her solar plexus. Yeah, really, 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 really.
Amazing. Amazing. Once again, amazing job, Brian.
Well, you would have to try your best on the card for one of the best creative people in the deck, So that was fun. It turned out really nice. So let's do the Queen of Wands.
The Queen of Wands. Boom. Queen of Wands. Ooh. Wow. Look at that.
Yeah. The fire woman, the woman that walks in the room and everyone turns to look at her because her light is shining so bright.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I love that because it's just like filling up the room with the robe, like this electric energy robe.
And there's just, I love, as always, again, there's like different kind of sizes of figures. You could see one right here, an actual feminine figure right here. Like on a little scale, but then you can also see kind of these bigger, this could be the head and shoulders and like a Mother Mary kind of. There's so many ways to look at this stuff. You can just get lost for hours.
And she's the matriarch of fire. So everything about her is intense. She's super happy, wants to make sure everybody's happy, but she has a temper. Whew.
Look at these hearts right here up at the top, a big heart and then a little heart right inside of it. I love it. Amazing.
Yeah, God, right?
Oh, it's so, it's so cool. What's so cool is, I guess, just kind of getting older and kind of getting more in touch with who you are and the things you like, and more aware. Like I'm actually, like, you're one of my favorite artists and we're actually friends. That's just like so cool. It's not like I'm like just looking at you from afar in a magazine or something. I actually talk to you about your work and we discuss it. I just love that.
Thank you. That's very humbling.
It's amazing. All right, what do you want to go to next?
Okay, let's go. We just did the Queen of Cups, so let's skip that and go to the Queen of Swords. And let me grab a drink real quick if you don't.
All right. Oh, wow. Look at this one. Holy moly. This is like, I'm seeing right now, right off the bat, I see this like kind of the alien queen over here, this medium-sized figure. And then I see this bigger, kind of out of focus figure here. Another, oh, almost like a feline image right here. Do you guys see that feline image? Wow.
Okay, Zen. So what's the swords about? Suit of
Well,
swords. What's that about?
the
What
sword.
element is it first? First of all, you remember? Okay, it's
You're
air.
putting me on the spot. You're putting me on
I'll
the
take
spot.
I'll take you off the spot. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a suit of air. So air
Okay.
is always about like mental stuff. So this woman has a tendency to be kind of aloof and super smart and very like subterfuge. You're not going to beat her when it comes to that. And like as far as like devising a plan on how she wants to accomplish her stuff, she is just like boom, 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 boom. There's not a lot of emotion with this woman because
Logic.
she's had a really intense life. I mean, the suit of swords. Okay, let's talk about the suit of swords. Ace
Okay,
of
hold
Swords is
on.
pretty cool because it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's get started on something. Start thinking about something. The two of swords, you're already at like, oh man, I'm in this harmonious like detente with an opposing force. Then you go to the three of swords, and it's absolute heartbreak. You go to the four of swords, and you're laying out like recovering from the fact that you were just obliterated. You go to the five of swords, and it's arguments and mental like constrictions inside your own head mainly, but with other people too. Then you go to the six of swords and you realize that this place that's been sustaining you all this time and this place where you've been gone to get your food and your sustenance is now gone and you've got to find somewhere else to go. So then you get to the seven of swords and you've got people ripping you off and deceiving you and telling you lies and like, oh, it's like brutal. Then you get to the eight of swords and you're looking out through the eight of swords through your own self-imposed prison because your perspective, like we talked about before, you're staring out through the swords and all you can see is the jail cell and oh, I can't get out, I can't get out. When in reality, all you have to do is turn the hell around and you see that the room is open and just walk away. So then you get to my favorite cards, the nine of swords, where you brutally and relentlessly like take a situation that could be bad and inflate it in your own mind with fantasies of how bad it's going to hurt, how bad it's going to suck, how this is going to be awful. I'm going to lose everything. I hate it. It's going to hurt. And like you create, and then after you get through that loop, you start creating new ways that it's really going to hurt. You start looking for the conspiracy, and pretty soon you're just an insane, crazy mess. And then you get to the 10 of swords and boom, you're dead. The swords have fallen. They're in your body. Like whatever was going to happen that destroyed your worldview has already happened. And now at least you can start recovering. Not a really happy suit.
All right. So there you go. That was the answer. The swords is not a happy suit.
Well, no, that's why the Queen of Swords is a little terse and a little because she's gone through that system. She's gone through
Gotcha.
that whole process,
Right.
and it leaves you war weary, man. It scars you. It like changes you. It like it's a sword, man, and like it. The Three of Swords, one of the most painful cards ever. When your heart breaks.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about just being sad, but your heart
Right.
breaks.
Right.
You're betrayed, or somebody dies, or like just some really intense fucking, oh man, it like tears it out of your chest. That changes you, and it changes the way that you view life and go on, hopefully for the better. But
Yeah.
there's always the choice to take that on and wear that, and like
Mhm.
things get darker as you go along,
Yeah.
carrying those things around. So the queen is really, she's someone that's street smart. She's been through it.
Mhm.
So if you
Mhm.
go to advice for her, unlike the Queen of Cups, where you're gonna get, oh baby, I hear you. Here's, like that sucks. I'm so sorry you went through that. You're gonna get the, all right, here's what you need to do. Now go do that now.
Right. Less compassion. Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Jilly says she pulled the three of swords tonight. Dun
Yeah.
dun dun. So I'm seeing again, Brian, you've made these cards really easy to use. A sorrowful woman, a woman who is lost in love, intensely perceptive, graceful, cruel, sly, deceitful. Oh, I didn't get the deceitful from what you just described, but
Well, every card has a negative.
mhm,
No card is just a singular way. There's always
mhm,
a
mhm,
why. There's always
mhm,
two
mhm.
paths.
Awesome. I love it. I love.
I especially
the-
love the crown on her head and the fact that she's sitting in that throne with her arms up.
Mhm, mhm. It's amazing, really. It really is. It's like the energy, the queen energy of all of the cards, that we looked at is there. You feel it.
Yeah, so let's get to the last of the
Yeah,
queens.
look at that
Was
one.
pretty amazing too.
Oh,
This is the Queen of Pentacles, which is an earth sign, and this sign is all about the real world and manifestation and things coming to fruition in real ways. Yeah, why don't you read this one too while we're at it? I think you
a practical woman, cultured, intense, great-hearted, intelligent, melancholy, sorry, of many moods. And this one also is very HR Giger esque, but this is, I mean, look at the, oh my god. Oh, look at this thing. It's amazing. Oh my god. It's like it sucks you right in. It's just like you want to just dive right in and like be in the world with it. It's really crazy. Artwork is so
Well, I
amazing.
keep finding new things, like
Yeah.
as many as 10 years,
10 years of
11
looking at these
years.
images and you're still finding new things. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love it. Well, like you said, it depends on the state that you're in when you're looking at it. That affects it. It's the vibration, of reflection. Yeah, look at this.
So, next week we'll be doing the kings, and then the next week again we'll go through the swords and the pentacles. And I don't mind living that for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, cool. Although I've disconnected the journey, to be honest with you, I've already connected to the angels.
Oh yeah, you're ready for the angels. I think. Listen,
So ready.
we'll go as we go. I think you had mentioned Jesse Blaze coming by
Jesse's
next
going to be
week.
on next
So
week. Yeah,
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
which I thought was really appropriate. The thing that started all this was when you guys were doing your tandem show, and
Mhm,
you brought me on for the original tarot deck, and then we got the 10th anniversary thing done, and both you guys got it. So
mhm.
I'm really looking forward to asking him how he's used it. He just bought a
Yep,
deck for his mom for
yep,
her birthday, and
yep.
yeah,
He'll give you some great feedback. I'm just looking at this card like still tripping on it. It's
the
just so
energy pool at the very bottom of it, just
yeah,
yeah, wow. Yeah. The
yeah,
substance that things are made of, nothing comes out of thin air. It has to be made out of something,
right.
and that's it.
It's amazing.
So
Amazing, amazing,
what what
amazing.
what say we look at those angel cards I sent you last week, and, like,
Okay, we could do that. Hold on a second.
you
Let me
got
see.
something else you wanna do?
No, no, that sounds perfect, man. I'm just I'm I'm just enjoying our time together, man, as always. I love it. All right. So this is a folder called Angels. So these are
Yeah, these are cards out of the deck,
oh
and
nice.
and
Okay.
these are crazy, man. So
So
so just
we're
like
gonna
the
be talking about each one of these in depth, right? Is that what we're
Yeah,
gonna be doing? Okay.
absolutely, we're gonna go card by card. I don't mind spending 72 weeks with the angels.
Nice. Me neither.
Yummy. Yummy, 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 yummy,
Yeah.
yummy. Grateful beyond
Nice.
words.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly. So these are all horizontally oriented, I'm imagining. Um, and these are just also,
I love this one. Can you blow this one up?
yeah, absolutely. Holy moly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. It's like dancing angels all over the place. Wow.
Yeah, they're a rather social group.
They're a rather social group. Is that what you said?
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Wow.
A lot of energies in that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. This is, I don't purport that this is how angels would look to everyone, but this is
Right.
how they look to me when I did this.
You know, and I think it's actually, I think that's what's kind of cool about it is that it's not a traditional representation of an angel, really. You know what I mean? It's something
Well,
that
what angels look like energetically do not look like the little no.
right, right, totally. Wow.
Yeah, baby.
Right. Right. And I think here almost is an example of how you can almost see like, okay, how they were represented physically. You know what I mean? But this is
That's
definitely different.
exactly right,
You know?
yeah. Well,
Mhm,
there's several little like, there's the 2 angels out at the side,
mhm, mhm,
and then very close to the center is those the circular things, those are the
mhm,
seraphim.
mhm.
Yeah,
No. Yeah.
and then the regular angels out at the very bottom. Like, we're gonna go over all the we're gonna do angel lore. It's not just gonna be talking about the cards, we're
Awesome.
gonna talk about, like, categories of angels and what angels do and history, and I love
Awesome.
this one so much.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's like it's almost like, ooh, man, my brain just starts going crazy with thoughts. I feel like it's like comic book character superhero versions of angels, you know, like oh, that's the one I just did.
That's how it's felt all week,
Yeah.
just in the radiant light. Oh, mm-mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Colors on that one.
That was an intense angel to channel, man. It was bright.
Wow.
Yeah, and the textures and flows, they just look so much like energy. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just phenomenal to okay, so the next two are pretty intense. uh I just yeah,
Yes.
pretty intense. Oh, Rick Midler's out there. What's up, Rick? Just saying hi, loves the
What up, Rick?
creation. Um, yeah, this one has some alien vibes to it, but
Well, alien vibes, but also if you look in the center, that headdress sort of thing is kind of like an Egyptian sort of zone.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Which I always kind of had, you know, I feel like there's in like Aztec and Egyptian and some of those ancient cultures, I feel like there's alien symbology and things happening, you know. Um,
That's because they
but
showed up.
yeah, but this next one, there's a lot of, I would say, Christ overtones in that, wouldn't
You know,
you?
it's actually my birthday angel.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, look at that. That's, phenomenal.
Oh, I
And
love this card. Yeah. How does the smoke get so specific? Go back to that one for a second.
uh, uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah,
like you look at that face, and it's like I photographed a face, but
yeah,
there was just energy there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's energy. It's all energetic. It's phew, off the charts. Oh, look at this one. Wow.
Yeah, breaking the circle. Ah, taking those habits that go around and around and around and around and won't let you go. And like,
Oh, you're talking to me right now. That's right where I'm at,
this is the
dude.
card for you, Zen.
Right where I'm at.
Here, hold on. Go back
Go
to that.
back. You want me to go back? All right, let's
Yeah.
go back.
Give me 1 second here. Here we go.
Oh, wow, this is interesting.
You
I
are you are at an impasse and have no idea which way to turn. The crashing waves of your emotions make it difficult to know what to do. You don't want to rock the boat, so you're very reluctant to express your opinions unless you're forced to. You seek to maintain calm through your projected rationality, which causes you to ignore your intuitions. It is
Mhm.
the conflict between your opinions and others, which is causing the stalemate and the indecision. You already know what to do. You're just telling yourself you don't in order to avoid a difficult situation. The
Mhm.
picture is clear. You have definitely closed your eyes and told yourself you are blind so that you will not have to choose between friend and enemy. It's this very choice which is your first step to involving yourself with people again.
Bastard. Oh man. And I got to tell you, a very interesting little side note is recently I have been very, very kind of obsessed, not obsessed, but just picturing and feeling resonating with Hebrew symbols, the Hebrew letters here. So this aleph you have, and I forget the name of this symbol. I know
Yeah.
this is a yud. What is this symbol here? The second one? Do you know?
Uh,
Nun? Is that a nun?
yeah, I believe you're correct.
I forget what it is. But check this out. I've been like doing these doodles, right, during the Akashic Records class. And I started this doodle right here, and this was an aleph right here. That started with an aleph in the center there. That was
Right.
very
Well,
similar. You know.
have you done any looking into the energetic aspect of the Hebrew letters? Like they're alive. They're an energy.
Yes, I have, and actually, I've been watching some interesting videos. I saw some information about how the first sentence in the Bible tells the whole story. Through the
Well,
symbol.
dude, check this out. So
Mm,
the angel system that I use is called the Shem HaMephorash. It's out of the Old
okay,
Testament,
okay.
Exodus. It's chapters 18, 19, and 20. And those chapters are all exactly the same length. So you make those things in a row, in 3 rows. You take the first letter from the first row, the last letter from the middle row, and then the first letter from the bottom row. Those 3 letters, and you do that same thing all the way down the row. So that winds up giving. That's how the names of God. That's how those Hebrew letters down there were arrived at.
Oh wow!
So it comes directly out of the book of Exodus,
So
which is
that's actually the angel name down here.
that's the angel name down there.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Yeah, it turned out that
Anaya, yeah,
it,
Anaya.
yeah, it turned out that I was looking at these symbols, and I came up the first 3 symbols that I remembered the names of the symbols was the aleph, the samech, and the asher, and the rosh, I think it's called. But the word was asher, and which is part of a lot of the Hebrew blessings. It's one of the words that is said in the Hebrew blessings, and the actual definition of the word is blessed. And that was just the word that I pulled out. So
Well, on the bottom of the tarot cards,
yeah.
on all the cards, or on the major arcana cards. Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. Like on the major arcana cards, the Hebrew letter is down here along with the word that it means.
Hmm, hmm.
So yeah, they're and that's totally there's 22 letters. It's totally connected. Actually, the Hebrew language is at like the center of a lot of Western magical systems,
Hmm, hmm,
and the
hmm.
Kabbalah is like a crazy.
I
That's
love it.
yeah,
No, very cool.
worthwhile path to go down to.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I love it. So oh, where did we go? Are we still in here? You can hear me, right? I think I just soloed out this thing, but there was a couple more images left, so I just wanted to pop them up there. Oh yeah, another great one.
Yeah, endings and rebirth. That's the last card in the deck.
Oh wow.
Things have to die in order for things to be reborn.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? All right, so we'll come back to that one. We'll end with that one.
Yeah,
uh,
angel of restitution.
how do I put both of us back in here? Here we go. Um,
These
Angel of
cards, like the tarot cards, are just
Tell a story.
they're alive to me. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this one. Oh,
Mm, yeah, amazing.
so
Well,
many layers to that one. That
I'm
was
looking forward to going through these cards, and I think I can see myself giving myself a daily reading with these cards because I feel like they resonate with me Look at this color.
Elevation and grandeur.
Amazing.
And the
Holy-
light coming out of that woman's eyes, and the little chin and the mouth, and it's like, oh,
amazing, 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 amazing.
yeah.
Angel of fertility. Yeah. Wow. These are great. And I think we're almost back to where we were. Did we see the angel of prosperity yet? Did we see that one? I don't think we saw that one yet. Angel of mission.
The colors just
Amazing. Really amazing. Yes.
I didn't like do that. They
Yeah.
kind of how it came out. Yeah.
Let's look at the the quality of that gradient right there is just superb.
That's the one that started it. That's the first image I did, and I went, wow. I showed it to a friend of mine. She said, wow, you should do an angel deck. I went, you're right.
Yeah.
And I started shooting that day.
Amazing. It's amazing. It's just really amazing. And it's like now here now you start to see, oh, okay, I can see the embodiment of the traditional thing I think of an angel, but it's also kind of like almost like the angel of death here, it's like in a cloak.
I don't really see that at all. I see that as the old wise guy. I don't see that as an intimidating.
Well, I don't mean the angel of death. I just meant like I don't really always think of an angel with a cloak, like a hood. You know what I mean? But
well, if you see it as a hood, not the top of his head.
Right. I got you. Oh, I see I see. Okay, see, you can see it that way too.
And the mustache coming off of him. It's just like this ancient sage.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Really amazing. Yeah.
Angel of Death isn't in this system.
Right.
That was last.
Maybe I used the wrong words. I just
that was last deck.
Yeah, that was the last deck. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to this continuation of our journey together, and showing your artwork. All right, we're back to that. Okay, so we did.
So I don't know if you'd be up for this to do with me, and I would love to invite anyone that's like hanging here. But I would just love to all of us gather our juice, get really bright, and send out a big wave of gratitude and love to the source. Not expecting a thing back, just to send it because we do. Okay, just gather some energy first. Just take 3 really deep cleansing breaths and just kind of rearrange your mode a little bit. And with each breath, feel connected to the light, to unconditional love that wants nothing from you except your growth and your evolution and your joy and your bliss. Bliss. We just take this time to give our thanks and a wave of gratitude. Immense gratitude. Thank you for it all, every bit of it, every bit of it, every bit of it. Thank you for it all. And thank you for getting me to this place, this point in time. And I just send you every bit of love I have. Goosebumpy.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. We got to do that more often. I love that.
Yeah.
Debbie said, "I love these too." She was looking at the cards, and Mary Jo, gratitude and love. Yes, we
Mary
love
Jo, love and gratitude, baby.
So much. Let's remember that. Awesome, Brian. I am so grateful for you and the show and being here each week and being able to come back each Monday and go, holy crap, it's Monday again.
Yeah, right.
I'm grateful for that. I really am.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome.
And expectant for our further adventures.
Absolutely,
The journey
absolutely.
continues one way or the other. I like going up to the top floors, though. That would be really good.
All right, folks. Well, thank you everybody for being here and participating today. It was a lot of fun.
It
Um,
really was. Thanks,
so,
thanks again for coming and participating and sharing. It really makes it fun to do and feels really worthwhile. So thanks again. We'll see you
yes,
next week.
we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.